Hello everyone, I'm Hans Fenstermacher, the CEO of GALA. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to be with you this week at the second annual UTIC conference. But the organizers asked me to assemble a few of my thoughts and pass them along to you in the form of this video. So I'd like to share a couple of thoughts with you about where we see the industry and where we see the industry heading in the next couple of years. First of all, I think that market expectations are changing very quickly right now. The customers, the clients on the client side are looking for three main things. Transparency, which means they want to see, evaluate, and be able to interact with the supply chain in real time. And that means that self-service will become more the norm for language service providers and language service companies. And they will have to become supply chain integrators. The second thing that clients are looking for is technological competence. They expect automation, metrics, and analytics to be everywhere in the supply chain so that they can measure and see everything that's going on. And so that means that tech-savvy language service providers will have a real advantage as translation becomes more and more commoditized. Third, clients are looking for interoperability. That means they want to leverage the assets throughout the supply chain, even with multiple providers. And they expect you to be able to connect to their systems seamlessly. So that means it will become perhaps more difficult for loyalty to be found. Providers will have to push further upstream into the client's processes so that they can integrate with them. And in essence, what this means is that it's more important than ever for language service providers to add value. This means they have to be ruthlessly efficient, they have to help meet the client's real goals, and be able to do so with less pain in the process. So that means, I think, that language service providers have to think about what kind of business they want to be in. At the upper end, there's the premium type of business. And what we're seeing there are new business models in language service companies that are based on outcomes for clients, rather than just projects or orders, the transactional model. So understanding your client's business and knowing their domain and integrating with everything that they do and with their technology is the key there. Being in a premium business means that your clients care more about results for what they're looking for than they do about cost. At the other end of the spectrum is the commodity type business. This means you're in a place where you're delivering a supply of words, a supply of subcomponents to a larger supply chain, and it means you have little strategic control over your business at that end and basically are at the mercy of the rest of the supply chain. Here, lower cost and efficiency are prized more than anything else. And that means technology and automation are going to be crucial to success in a commodity model type of business. Now, I think both of these models can be viable business models for a company to pursue, but it's getting harder and harder to be both at the same time. So companies are starting to have to decide which one they are going to focus on as their main business model. So in the next few years, I think we're going to see some tectonic shifts in the industry. I think traditional LSPs that have done a wide range of services and a wide range of domains and clients are slowly going to get pushed out of business. I think the top LSPs are going to start looking more and more like clients. They're going to have more and more the type of business model that our clients traditionally have. And traditional translation work may in fact decrease because as traditional content goes away and reuse and automation and of traditional content skyrockets, MT is going to take over, and we're going to see more and more of that, especially in the new types of content like user-generated content, social media, and so forth. In fact, some could argue that the goal in many cases for businesses is to end up with zero translation, to have everything be, in fact, a repurposing of existing content and a re-aggregation. Ironically, I think translation and interpreting skills may become more valuable in that scenario down the road, because linguists, expert linguists, will need to be content assemblers. They'll need to provide translation, of course, and interpreting as basics, but they'll have to assemble content and have skill sets that are related to aggregating content in that fashion. They're going to be needed for training MT engines and other kinds of linguistic tools. They'll be needed as post editors and quality assurance specialists and as terminologists. So those terminology skills are going to actually increase in value for that new supply chain and those new business models. And of course, the opportunity in the long tail languages in emerging markets will be tremendous, because there is no TM, there are no MT tools yet for those languages. And so the linguistic component there might be quite valuable for some time still. So all of that means maybe a mixed a bag of news. It may seem like good news to some and bad news to others, but I'll tell you what, I think the best news that we have is that the language business is thriving. I like to think of the language business as the new oil. Oil was the substance that made everything in the 20th century move. It was the driver for every kind of business. And in the same way, I think language has the same kind of vital role in everything, because without language, nearly every human activity stops. We need language in commerce, diplomacy, entertainment, social engagement, education, healthcare, the news, research. It goes on and on. And finally, today, all of that effort, all of those human activities are global and multilingual. And who's at the center of all of that? We are. Our industry is what makes all of that possible and keeps things from stopping and shutting down. So we know, and increasingly our customers know, that language today needs to be real time, it needs to be always on, it needs to be available everywhere and to everyone. And we have big challenges before us: speed, volume, global talent, getting the right skill sets, being super efficient with what we do. Those are all big challenges. But the opportunities are just as big as they ever were, if not bigger right now. We have technology opportunities, linguistic opportunities, and entrepreneurial opportunities. So I'm super optimistic about the industry, and I think everyone should be, who's in it, should be super excited about the possibilities for us all going forward. А теперь разрешите мне сказать пару слов своим друзьям и коллегам по отрасли на ЮТИКе. Весь мир, конечно, следит за событиями в Украине. Больно и печально видеть последствия ежедневных конфликтов. Я надеюсь, что мы все, ведь мы являемся строители мостов между народами и людьми, что мы все можем способствовать улучшению обстоятельств и взаимоотношению, хотя бы между собой. Желаю вам успешной конференции, дружественной атмосферы и, прежде всего, желаю вам более спокойной жизни в стране и быстрого решения предстоящих проблем.